So my name is Rachel and I'm here today to film a TBR for the cozyathon. The cozyathon is a readathon that is taking place between the 1st and the 15th of February, and the theme is St. Valentine's. I'm hoping to take part in this just because I want to take part in a lot of readathons at the moment anyway. And so yes, this is being hosted by Sylvia over at Sylvia K's channel. I will link it down below along with anything else that I can find about it, announcement videos, anything like that. But I just thought I would tell you about my TBR today. So there are two different sets of challenges. I will read through some of the first challenges, but I don't really have a TBR for them because they're not really a TBR type thing. But then the second lot are, so I will then tell you what my books are hopefully going to be. First section, there are 8 challenges. The first is coffee or tea date, read in a coffee shop or tea room. Number 2, a chocolate date, read while eating or drinking chocolate. Number 3, cake shop date, read while eating cake or cookies. Number 4, movie date, read while eating popcorn, which I'm most excited for because popcorn's like my favourite food. Number 5, walk date, take a walk while listening to an audiobook. Number 6, romantic date, visit a romantic place and read there. Number 7, stay at home date, read wrapped up in a blanket. And number 8, Cinderella Date, read until midnight. So they are all the challenges that are kind of like what to do in like the readathon, and the other challenges are all bookish challenges. So they are the books that I will be showing you today. So the first one, or 9th one, depending on how you want to look at it, is read a book with red or pink on the cover. Now, this book doesn't have a lot of red and pink on the cover, but it does have a little bit, and I want to read it, so I'm choosing it anyway. And it is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is one of my favourite books of all time, and I really wanted to reread it this year, and while the weather was a bit shit, and the weather is very weird in Switzerland. It is very sunny sometimes in the middle of winter, which is weird, but at the moment it is stormy and windy and horrible, so that's a good sign. And so I'm hoping to read this. This is also the pick for January and February for the Bronte 200, which is a book club Lucy the Reader is running, and of which I want to take part. I don't want to take part in all the books because I've already read some Bronte poetry and it's not really my favourite, so I'm not going to be reading that, and I'm planning to read another Bronte book instead of Jane Eyre because I've read Jane Eyre before and reread it last year. So I am planning to read a new Bronte book instead during that time, but I do want to follow the book club and read some of the picks, and yes, I do want to read Wuthering Heights during that, so I'm hoping to read this during the cozyathon. This is obviously a very well known and well loved classic, and it is a well loved classic of mine, 100%. It is about two families, the Linton family and the Earnshaw family. It follows them through multiple generations and is basically about how those families interact with each other and certain characters from those families interact with each other. Most people will know exactly what I'm talking about, but I feel like this is a good book to not know too much about, which is not good because everybody knows too much about this book, because everybody knows everything about this book. It's one of the most famous books of all time. But anyway, I want to reread it. The next one is to read a book with a sweet title. Now, I feel like I might have bent this a bit to just having a beautiful title, because a sweet title probably means something like I love you or some sort of cheesy statement, probably. But I want to read this book anyway, and it fits quite well into the romance Valentine's type theme, I think. So I'm picking this. I think the title's nice, and it is Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. This is a YA fantasy novel which features a relationship between two females and is the primary reason that I want to read this. Last year I read some LGBTQ plus books, and I didn't realise how much I needed them in my life because they actually make me feel a lot better about myself and about my relationships and about like acceptance from society. So I want to read a lot more of them this year, and this is one that I definitely want to get to. This is about a girl who is betrothed to a prince from another land. I think she's a princess and she's betrothed to another prince, and then she falls in love with the prince's sister, from what I can gather, This just sounds super, super awesome and I really want to get to it. So that's the next one. The next one is to read a book about love or a relationship, which I feel like most of these books could go into anyway. So if I don't manage to read this one, I feel like A Firing Stars or Wuthering Heights could definitely go into that anyway. But the one I picked is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, again for the same reason that I want to read more LGBTQ plus books this year anyway. And yes, I'm very excited for this one, although I've heard that it's going to absolutely break my heart. This is set in a world where, from what I can gather, people can get a text saying that they will die that day. They have these kind of mobiles or something that tell them. And then there is also an app on the phone where you can find people, if you're going to die that day, you can find people who are going to die that day too. And it's about two boys who meet who are going to die that day. That's all I know, but it sounds like an interesting premise, and like gay people, I'm into that. So I'm hoping to get to this one. The next challenge is to watch a Disney adaptation of a fairy tale of your choice and then read a retelling of it. Now, I am adding an extra dimension to this just because I have it with me and think it will be cool. So the story that I picked is Cinderella. So what I'm going to do is, before I watch it, I'm going to read the original Grimm fairy tale version of Cinderella because I've never read it and because I want to read more Grimm fairy tales this year. I read some in November, I think it was, and really enjoyed it. And so I'm hoping to read Cinderella from this. This is the collection that is edited or translated or whatever by Philip Pullman. So I'm going to be reading Cinderella out of here. Then I'm going to watch the live action remake of Cinderella. So Cinderella has never been one of my favourite Disney films. I'm not a massive fan. However, it is okay. But when I watched the live action remake, I really enjoyed the live action remake and thought it was a lot better than the original film for me, which I feel like might be a bit controversial because I know Cinderella is well loved by a lot of people, but it's just not really one that was well loved for me before. But I really did enjoy the live action remake, and I think it is on Swiss Netflix. So I'm going to be watching that version, and then the book that I want to read is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and this is book one in the Lunar Chronicles, and I've just wanted to read this for a while to kind of see how it ties into Cinderella and then like sci-fi, because apparently Cinderella's like bionic in this. Next one is to buddy read a book with someone, and for this I'm just going to start my read of Anna Karenina. This is a book that me, my mum and one of my uni friends are hoping to read together this year and just discuss, and by the time I go home we wanted to have read part 1 and part 2, then we can like talk about it a bit. So I'm hoping to just get started on this during the readathon. The next one is to have a reading date with friends or a loved one, and for this I will probably do that with my girlfriend. We tend to read together anyway and like read graphic novels together. That's one of my favourite things that we do. So yeah, that will probably happen at some point when I see her, but I don't know when at the moment. The last one is shopping date. Buy yourself a bookish present. And for this, I think I will probably buy myself Northang Rabbit in the Vintage Classics edition, which is the last Jane Austen that I don't have, and is the first one in her major works that I want to read this year because I want to read her in publishing order. So I do need to get that pretty soon, and I feel like that would be a good present to get myself. So yes, that is my TBR. I feel pretty positive about it because like I'm not hoping to read all of this one. I'm only hoping to read something short out of this. So it's quite good because there's a classic in there and I'm quite slow at classics. Also, there is, as part of the other challenges, it does say to have a walk date where you listen to an audiobook. So I might be also listening to an audiobook, which would be cool. So yeah, we will see how that goes and what I decide to pick for that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!